All right. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Courtney Newman. I'm the co-chair of the Global Youth Caucus, and I'm based in Cologne, Germany. We are so pleased to welcome you all here to our mental health and yoga workshop event. It's definitely no secret that this past year has brought about many challenges and brought about a lot of uncertainty. And that being said, the Global Youth Caucus would like to address some of these challenges that have been exacerbated by the pandemic, specifically mental health challenges. So as a service to you, we'd like to bring you a moment of unity and relaxation, a moment for self-improvement and self-reflection. And I'm pleased to be joined tonight by my co-host, Caitlin.
Thank you, Courtney. My name is Caitlin. I'm on the steering committee for the Global Youth Caucus, and I'm based in Toronto, Canada. To provide you all with that moment of unity and self-reflection, we have two special guests with us today. Firstly, we have Anne Grandchamp. Sorry, my pronunciation's off. She's a mental health professional living in Switzerland, and she is with us today to talk more about how such a pandemic can impact our mental health and what we can do to combat these challenges. Uh, Next, we have Priscilla Sarnau with us. She is a yoga instructor also living in Switzerland. She will lead us through a wonderful yoga session. Practicing yoga is a great way to decrease stress, and hopefully, practicing yoga together in this way creates a sense of unity and harmony. So, again, another quick reminder, make sure you create a bit of space so you can participate, and take a minute to change into comfier clothes if you need to. We are very lucky and grateful to have both of you here with us today. So let's get started. Anne, are you ready?
Hello, it's nice to be here with you tonight. Thank you for inviting me. So as you said, I'm in Switzerland near Geneva, and I'm really happy to share some tips with you tonight. So I work in mental health, and my specialty is working with people who specifically are chronically ill, who suffer from things like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases, but also burnout, depression, anxiety, and so on. And I teach them, basically, I teach them what the mind-body connection is all about, how their thoughts and their beliefs influence their health, and how I teach them a technique to learn how to reset basically their nervous system, because most of our illnesses are due to an overstressed nervous system. So I teach them how to press reset, and then little by little, their health comes back to normal. So I'm very privileged to do this work. And there are practitioners who teach this a bit all over the world. There's some in Canada, in the US, in England, none in Germany at the moment. There's me in Switzerland. But yeah, it's a fantastic work. So tonight, I've only got a few minutes, so I've prepared a little PowerPoint for you with just some tips. Obviously, afterwards, you will have a yoga session, and yoga is one really good way to just, tone things down and just really calm the nervous system when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. And definitely these past 12 months have been very challenging for a lot of people. And definitely I see it in my clients. There are more and more people who are suffering from burnout, depression, anxiety, and so on. And so I thought I would share some tips with you tonight. I'm just going to move these pictures so they're not in my way. Okay, so I thought I would share some tips about self-care in COVID times, because interestingly, burnout is something that used to be linked only to work, to the office. And interestingly as well, burnout has only been recognized as a condition since 2019. That is so late, because people have been suffering from burnout for a long time. And usually it was workplace related. You might know someone who's had burnout, you might have had burnout. But because of COVID and the multiple lockdowns and the uncertainty and having our routines completely changed, burnout is now extremely present at home, in the home. But there are ways to help with that. And so what is burnout? Burnout is a response to long-term unrelenting stress. And so if you're burnt out, you might find yourself really anxious, really stressed, crying a lot, overwhelmed a lot, really tired. You might get sick more easily. Some people can't even get out of bed some days. It can be really, really debilitating. So I hope none of you at that point, but I thought I would share some tips just to start to teach you how you can just start to, you know, de-stress, calm down, make some slight changes in your life to deal with the situation that we're dealing with at the moment as best as you can, because we can. We can be the best version of ourselves, whatever is happening around us. We can't influence the world around us. We can't influence, I wish I could, influence COVID. I wish I had a magic wand. I don't. But what I can influence is how I respond to the situation I'm in. So I'm going to share my top tips to reduce stress and improve calm. Now, please bear in mind, these are, I mean, I could have said a lot more than what I'm saying tonight, but I've got 15 minutes. So I'm sharing with you my top tips. And what I recommend is that you jot down the ones that speak to you, the ones where you think, yeah, that's me, that's going to make a difference. Jot those down and start putting them into practice in your life. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is sleep. Sleep is vital. If we don't sleep, our health just goes downhill. And so it's really interesting to know that our best super sleep is between 10 p.m. at night and midnight. So if you manage to get to bed by 10 p.m. and you can get those 2 hours of sleep before midnight, you're going to be a lot more recharged when you wake up in the morning than if you go to bed at 11, 11:30, midnight, after midnight. So if you can, if you're feeling very tired, work towards going to bed earlier by 10 p.m. And to help have better sleep, well, a cool, dark, and clutter-free bedroom really helps. So look and see, make sure your bedroom's not too hot. If it's really messy, I recommend just spending a bit of time tidying it up, because it really just takes away a lot of pressure. It's amazing what it does to our unconscious when we live in lots of clutter and mess. So if your room can be clutter-free and comfortable, then you will have better sleep. Now, this is a tough one. Stop screens at least 1 hour. Actually, a lot of people recommend 2 hours before bedtime. But if you manage 1 hour before bedtime, I'm sure that's going to be quite a feat for a lot of you already. So yeah, screens stress our mind, stress our brain. And so if we're on our phone, you know, even in the dark room, scrolling before we go to sleep, that is going to affect our sleep. We are not going to sleep as well. So if you're struggling with sleep, try just stopping your phone, stopping all screens an hour before you go to bed. Put your phone on flight mode so you don't get interrupted by notifications and bings and rings. And reading, interestingly, reading a magazine, reading a book for a few minutes before you go to bed really helps just reduce that inner stress and settle before you go to sleep. So those are just some tips around sleep, right? There's always lots more I could say. That's already a good start. Fresh air and exercise. Go outside, get out of your house. You know, in some countries, I know Germany, France, you know, you can't go out after a certain time, but there are times during the day where you can go out. So go out, get some fresh air, open a window, breathe fresh air, look as far as you can with your eyes for at least 5 minutes. And when you're doing that, just allow yourself to be fully present by using your 5 senses, really connecting with what you can see, what you can smell, what you can maybe taste, what you can feel on your skin, the temperature, how you're feeling inside, just really connecting with these things. Keep moving. I don't know about you, but this whole lockdown thing where we're stuck at home, working from home, we're not moving as much as we used to. We're not going out, taking the train, going to the shops as much and so on. And so we're stuck at home a lot more, but our body is feeling that because when we do less with our body, we feel more tired. That's just the way we're wired. That's how our body communicates with our brain. We reduce our movement, we feel more tired. So move your body as often as possible. You know, get up while you're working, go and make a coffee, have a cup of tea, go hang out your washing, fold your washing, roll your shoulders, you know, get up, jump around a little bit, and then keep going with your work. And that will give you a lot more energy. Go for walks, practice yoga like we will tonight, or Pilates, or any kind. You know, on YouTube, you can find so many videos for yoga, Pilates, workouts. So choose one that's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and do it. And that will really help you feel a lot less stressed. You'll feel so much better in your body. Practicing kindness and smiling. I don't know if you've heard about this before for reducing stress, but these are two really powerful things to really reduce stress and feel calmer. Okay, when you're kind to someone, when you say a nice thing, when you offer a gift to someone, you send a text message or a little note saying, I really appreciate you, thank you for this, thank you for being who you are. Your body releases a hormone called oxytocin, and it's a powerful well-being and immune boosting hormone. So at the moment, and I think doctors around the world are not talking enough about natural ways to boost your immune system these days. There's a lot, you know, vitamin D, vitamin C, magnesium, zinc, but smiling, being kind, releases oxytocin, which boosts your immune system. So why not be kind? Why not smile? It's free. And be kind to yourself. I love this sentence. I don't know if you've heard it before, but if you treated your friends like you treat yourself, or if you spoke to your friends like you spoke to yourself, would you have any? It's a good question, isn't it? A lot of us are very, very hard on ourselves, where we expect a lot of ourselves, we beat ourselves up, we feel guilt a lot. And so just becoming aware of that internal voice and starting to change it, starting to change the way you talk to yourself. Talk to yourself with kindness. Now, laughing and smiling more. Smiling and laughing are the best medicine. When you're smiling, when you're laughing, when you're in a good mood and you have a sense of humor, everything, you know, your outlook on life just feels so much easier and lighter. So when you smile, your brain actually releases like tiny molecules that we call neuropeptides, and they help to fight off stress just by smiling. We have muscles here, have a funny name. They're called the zygomatic major muscles. I love that word. And so just by smiling, automatically those muscles are triggered and your body releases the hormones and help you feel better. And so I say to my kids sometimes when they're a bit grumpy, I say, go get a pen and bite on a pen like this. Because it makes a smile and it releases the hormones. And I tell you what, every single time my kids do that, they come back after 2 minutes in a much better mood. I had a client who's been doing that now for 2 weeks. Every mornings when he's driving to work, he puts a pen in his mouth so that he smiles the whole way that he's driving to work. And he says it's really transformed his work days because he's releasing all these hormones on his way to work and he's in a much better mental place when he gets to work. So smile and think about how you can be kind to others and how you can be kind to yourself. I hope that all that's making sense. Learn to say no. Don't know, you know, those of you who are watching today, if you're good at saying no. But very often people who burn out, people who are overwhelmed, who are stressed, who are tired, are people who struggle to say no and they take on too much. I know I've been guilty of that in my life. And so you can learn to delegate. If you're a mom, a busy working mom, you could think about, okay, well, what other jobs could I give my kids to do? Even the little ones, you know, they can start to learn how to put things in the dishwasher, for example. Ask your husband to do some tasks and delegate as much as you can. Okay, and say no, or you can also say, thank you, but no thank you. Thank you for thinking of me for this, but no thank you. I'm not going to do it at this time. It's okay to say no. The world will not end. The world will not stop if you say no. So learn to say no. That will take a lot of stress, and delegate. The rule of 3. Do you put yourself at the top of your to-do list? Chances are often you're not, especially if you're a working mum. You're probably putting yourself right at the bottom of that to-do list. So put yourself at the top of your to-do list, your self-care, your exercise, the things you do to fill up, your tank so that you feel better, whether it's reading, whether it's exercising, whether it's singing, whether it's whatever you do to feel better. Put yourself at the top of your list, even if you set appointments with yourself in your diary. This time is for me, and then you don't put anything else at that time. And then after yourself, choose your top 3 things on your to-do list and do those. Ignore the rest. And might be some days that's the only ones you do, and that's okay. But if you get those done, then you can choose the next 3. So the idea here is to really chunk things down, because if you look at a to-do list and it's so long and you go, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this all today in one day? It's just not possible. So chunk things down, and the pressure will really come off and you'll feel heaps better. But put yourself first. I want to talk to you briefly about your thoughts. We have on average 70,000 thoughts per day. Can you believe that? That's a lot of thoughts that we have every day. And 90% of these are the same every single day. They're unconscious. They're just running on automatic. Okay, so if those thoughts are life-enhancing, happy, positive thoughts, then you're probably doing really well. But if those thoughts are negative, are destructive, are demeaning, are all those things, then chances are you're not feeling pretty flash. So just start being aware of the things that you're saying to yourself. What are you saying to yourself? What words are you using? The busy words, B words, is a very, very stress-inducing word. Oh, I'm busy. It sounds good to say, oh, I'm really busy. But actually, when you're using that word, you're triggering stress in your nervous system. So learn to maybe choose another word than busy. Well, how else could you say that you've got a lot of things to do? Your own voice, the things you say to yourself, your self-talk is the most influential voice in your life. No one has more impact on what you think and what you think about yourself than what you say to yourself. So think about what you're saying to yourself. Be kind, be encouraging, be positive. Your body language is even more powerful than your self-talk. Now, to do that, imagine how would you hold your body if you're feeling unmotivated? Probably like, if those of you who have your camera on, just do it like slump your shoulders, like this. And when you're in that position, try saying, I'm really excited about tonight. You can't. Because your body is not saying that. And so whatever you're saying with your mouth, your brain's is not hearing that. It's hearing what your body is saying. By the same token, if you're going, yay, I'm like with your body, I'm really excited about today, but you try to say, I'm really not, I can't even do it. I can't say I'm not motivated when I'm moving my body as if I was excited. It's not possible. So think about what you're saying with your body and adjust it accordingly. If you want to feel calmer, how would you hold your body? To show your brain that you want to be calm. If you want to be happy, this is the most powerful thing you can do, and it's calming. So think powerful and life-enhancing thoughts, and that will have a huge impact on your mental health. So last thoughts. I only had 15 minutes, so last thoughts. Let's not forget about food. What food are you putting into your body? Is it nourishing food? Are you eating fruit and vegetables and, you know, different things? Are you eating lots of sugar? Are you drinking lots of soft drinks? Too much coffee? All these things are going to have an impact on how your mental health is doing. So maybe there are some adjustments to make. And so from what I said tonight, like I said at the beginning, you know, choose one or two things that I shared tonight. Don't try and do it all, because otherwise you're just going to end up feeling overwhelmed, going, oh my goodness, there was so much stuff, I don't know where to start. No, just choose one or two things that I shared tonight and start putting them into practice. And the more you do them, the easier it'll become, the more automatic it'll become, because our brain does that for us. You know, there's something called neuroplasticity. It's our brain's ability to rewire itself, to change the pathways. And so the more you practice something, the more automatic it becomes, whether it's good for you or bad for you. Your brain's not going to tell you that it's bad for you. You get to choose what you do. But the more you do something, the easier it'll become to do. And you know, we're going to be doing some yoga. Maybe some of you have never done yoga, and the first time you do yoga, you feel awkward and it might hurt and you might not be able to do all the poses. But the more you practice yoga, the easier it becomes. That's just the way it is. So it's the same here. Choose one or two tips, put them into practice, chunk things. And if you need extra help at this time, there are a lot of mental health professionals. Get in touch with someone who can help. And that's really, really important. I mean, I didn't talk about connections tonight, but connecting with your friends, connecting with people you love, people you get along with is really important as well, and asking for help when you need it as well. So I hope that was really useful for you tonight. And I am going to pass over now to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne, for your insightful and inspiring talk. We really appreciate you being here with us and sharing such helpful information. I know I can definitely use some of those tips myself, and I think you've really provided us with a safe space to self-reflect and find ways to improve our own selves during these uncertain times. So thank you so much. That being said, we now introduce Priscilla. She is a yoga instructor, and she's here today with us to lead us through a yoga session. And we are so grateful to have her here with us. So just another reminder, take a moment to create some space if you need to, so that you can participate, change into some comfy clothes. We'll give you just a minute to do that. And I'm going to leave my camera on. I think it'll create a better sense of community while we're doing this. So please feel free to also keep your camera on if you feel comfortable. I've only done a few yoga sessions before, so I'm no expert, but please join us. Meanwhile, Priscilla, you're welcome to introduce yourself and just get started whenever you're ready. I'm going to get my computer set up, but you're good to go.
Sure. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today, tonight, this afternoon, depending on where you are. Can you guys hear me okay? Yes? See me okay? Okay. So like I said, or like it was said, my name is Priscilla, and I've been teaching yoga for a couple of years now. I'm not going to say how many because that's going to give away my age. But yoga, I came to yoga at a time in my life where I just kind of felt a bit lost. And I feel like right now this is kind of the collective feeling, because we've all lost our routines. We've all lost a part of our normal, essentially, and we've had to adapt. And in the process of adapting, you kind of feel a little bit pulled in all senses and in all directions. So it's nice to have some kind of practice which you can kind of ground yourself and connect to yourself. And for me, that was yoga, and that's how I came to yoga. And it helped me so much that I wanted to become a teacher and kind of just help other people connect to themselves and find a little bit of peace, a little bit of joy, in their day and have access to it at whatever moment they needed it. So for me, if you guys are okay, please turn on your camera so I can take a look. This won't be shown in the recording. It'll just be me because I'm spotlighted. So don't worry, it's just me seeing you. And just so I'm, I just want to check in that you guys are okay and I'm not doing anything too complicated and that you are alive and thriving, right? That's what we want. So great. We can get started. Sitting comfortably on the floor, cross-legged. Thank you for turning on your cameras. If you see me looking down, it's because I see you guys here. And then we're going to put our palms on our knees. I usually put them face down because I feel like it's more grounding. However, you can put them face up for receiving, whatever it is that you want. And so close your eyes and just take a moment to arrive. Arrive on your mat, on your rug, pillow, wherever it is that you're sitting. Just arrive in that space, in that room, into your body. And you'll notice that your mind is still going, even though you're just sitting. And that's totally okay. What you want to do is kind of shape the conversation that's happening. And invite yourself to connect with your body, to have a conversation with yourself. So check in and say, how am I feeling? What does it feel like to be in this body at this moment, right now? What does it feel like to take this next breath? How does my heart feel? Where is my mind? And the answers will come. Your body will tell you, your mind will tell you. And when your mind just goes astray, you just bring it back and say, hey, we're here just for the next couple minutes. Just stay with me and focus on the next breath. Bring it back to the breath. Give it something to be entertained with. And that's always going to be your next inhale and your next exhale. With your attention now focused on your breath, notice where your breath lives. If that's in the chest, if it's really short, or not, if it's nice and long. If you can, bring that breath, that inhale all the way down to the belly. And then as you exhale, feel the belly fall, chest fall. Inhale, belly rises, chest expands. Exhale, belly falls, chest follows. And as we deepen the breath, we might feel ourselves kind of straightening up a bit, relaxing the shoulders and the space between the eyes as the breath does the work and sends a signal to the body that it's okay to relax. Then go ahead and bring your hands together and just rub them. Feel that heat in between your hands. And once you feel the heat, go ahead and bring your hands right in front of your eyes and feel the warmth of your hands. This is you, right here, present. And slowly open your eyes and bring your hands slowly away from your face. Welcome new reality, right? Inhale, take a nice deep breath. Arms go all the way up. And then exhale out the mouth nice and loud. Ah. It's that release, you know, when you take like a big deep breath and you just exhale nice and loud when you're frustrated, it's that release. So that's what we're looking for. Inhale and then exhale. The whole day, all the worries, that to-do list, everything that's been busy bodying your mind, let that go with that next exhale. Exhale, great. Go ahead and put your right fingertips onto the mat. And then your left fingertips reach all the way up to the sky and reach over and plant that left hip into the mat. Relax the shoulders here and bring your hand behind your head and roll the elbow behind all towards the back. Kind of create that nice space along the chest. And if it feels a bit tense here, don't forget to breathe. We kind of do that when something feels a bit uncomfortable. Take a nice inhale, switch sides, reach all the way up to the ceiling, and then exhale, fold over to the side. Hand behind the head, and inhale, spiral the heart towards the heavens. Keep breathing. Excellent. Then we'll come back up. Take a nice deep inhale. And then we're going to cross our hands, our fingers, and then push all the way up. Then what happens is the more we push up, the higher our shoulders go. And we just want to relax them. I want to create some space here. All right. And then we're going to release the hands. And bring them behind our back. And same thing, we cross our hands or cross our fingers. And then inhale, open the chest, look up. That feels nice. Push the shoulders down. Yes, I see some smiles. And here you can like maybe wiggle side to side, see if that feels nice. Good. And then we're going to put our hands again on our knees and just kind of make little circles. And then these circles, you're going to become intuitive circles. So maybe if you want to close your eyes and just tune in, what feels good? Maybe I want to bring my chest into it, round the shoulders and push my chest forward. Maybe my neck comes into it. And then nobody's watching you. Not even me. My eyes are closed. Just kind of check in, see, oh, this feels wonky right here. Oh, that feels nice. Maybe I stay here for a second. And it's that checking in, that being present and connecting the breath, the mind, and the body that brings us some release. And it slowly will make these circles a little smaller and smaller till we just come back to center. Good. We're going to take our hands and we'll clasp them together, push them forward this time, round the back. And then keep pushing, like if you had an invisible wall in front of you. And keep the chin tucked. And then on your next inhale, you're going to release the hands into cactus arms. Open the chest, look up. Exhale, clasp the hands together. Push the hands forward. Chin is tucked. And then inhale. Open the arms, cactus. One more time, exhale, push, exaggerate that movement. Tuck the chin. And inhale, cactus. Excellent. Bring your fingertips over to the shoulders and just give me some shoulder rolls here. Nice. And then you're gonna make these circles bigger. And the way we do that is by touching the elbows in front and then the wrists behind the neck. Let's see if that feels good and accessible. And if it's not, it's okay. And keep this movement connected to the breath. Keep breathing. Reverse the movement. The wrists touch, then the elbows. Yes. Good. And you should feel the shoulders warming up. Then we'll do one last thing for the shoulders. Oh no, maybe two more things. We're going to take the elbows, the right elbow on top of left. These are called eagle arms. And then if you can, we're going to wrap the wrists around each other. If this is not something that your body is ready to do at this moment, you can just simply put your hands on your shoulders. It's the same exact thing. No pushing, no ego, just wherever you're at. And then you're going to inhale, lift up the shoulders, lift up the chin, look up at the ceiling, exhale, round the spine, and bring the shoulders and the elbows down. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, round. One more time, inhale, lift, and then exhale, round. Come back to center, and nothing in yoga is ever done without balancing the two sides. So we're gonna open our arms nice and wide, and this time we're gonna bend our elbows. Left elbow goes on top, right on the bottom, and we'll wrap our wrists around. Each side is different, so if it's not possible on this side, that's okay. Hands on shoulders. So we're gonna go ahead and take a deep inhale through the nose, lift up those elbows, and exhale through the mouth. And you'll see or hear different teachers cue different kinds of breathing. But if you're starting, if you're new, and you're just trying to find a moment of release, I recommend inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, just for that release. Otherwise, you can keep the breath in and out through the nose, which is the traditional breath. And then we come back to center. Great. Now just put your hands on your knees, close your eyes, sit up nice and straight, and just feel on your next inhale how you've created a bit more space. Now there's some more room. There's a lot less tension going on here. We carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And sometimes it's nice to give them a little love, a little space to breathe. Good. Now open your eyes and come onto all fours. You're going to come onto hands and knees. And we'll just do one final stretch for the shoulders, which they might have a conversation with you in this pose. So you're just going to walk your hands forward as much as you can. And we're going to keep the hips over the knees. And we're going to bring the chest down as much as we can. And maybe if your neck allows it, you can bring the chin down onto the mat. If not, you can bring your forehead. And try to keep the chest as close as possible to the mat. And keep breathing here. It's really easy to hold our breath, as I said before, when you're just kind of uncomfortable or something's new, you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna hold it until it's done, and then I'll be able to sigh in relief. Just keep breathing. If your shoulders are talking to you, that's great. You probably needed this. And then on your next exhale, we'll just walk the hands back. How did that feel? Thumbs up for good, thumbs down for not that great. All right, got a couple of thumbs up. Yes, good. All right. So from here, what I want to do is come and bring your knees apart and sit down on your heels. And this is child's pose. Now, Anne talked about having a reset for yourself. And this is kind of your reset in yoga. This is a place where I call home base or your reset button. You can bring your forehead onto the mat. It's called child's pose. And if you have kids, you'll understand why. It's a great place to just find a bit of a connection to yourself, to grounding, and having that bit of pressure on the forehead and that third eye space. It actually is extremely calming for the brain. So here you can kind of just slow down the pace of your thoughts and increase the space between each thought, which is exactly what we're aiming to do. And slowly you can go ahead and take both your hands and walk them over to the right side as much as you can. And keeping your hips wherever they are, and press down with that left arm, left hand. You should feel a nice stretch in the side body, in between the left ribs. And then slowly we'll walk it all the way over to the other side. So all the way to the left, press down with that right hand, right forearm, keep your forehead connected to the earth. And keep breathing. And then come back to center. And we'll come onto all fours. Sit gracefully with our legs in front of us. Now, what we can do here is take the right heel and put it above our knee. Here. So we have like a number 4, okay? So here we just scooch the left leg in until you feel a nice stretch on the outer hip. So plant your hands, fingers facing forward, and take a nice deep inhale, puff up that chest, and see where it is that you can find that nice stretch. The closer that right leg is to you, the deeper the stretch. And so I wanted to show you this pose in this position because it's the closest I will get to showing you that you could do this sitting down in your office chair or in any chair, your dinner table, whatever. You just, instead of bringing the leg up to you, you bring your torso down. So you can always have this nice outer hip stretch. Then we can switch sides, bring the left ankle over on top of the right knee. And then you decide your level. So you can bring it nice and close. Keep that left foot flex. Nice straight spine. Happy hips maybe. In yoga, a lot of people think it's something so serious, and I couldn't agree with Anne more. It's, you gotta smile through everything. It just makes things so much easier. Even when you're stretching, even when you're uncomfortable, you just smile through it. It's not a serious thing, yoga. Really, you have to find the lightness in every situation. So let's do one more thing for our hips. We're going to come onto all fours. And this is really good if you're all day, which you might be because it's COVID. So you're going to take your right foot, put it in front of you, and you're going to make sure that your ankle is below your knee. Okay, and if this kind of hurts your left knee, you can always double up the mat or put pillow, sofa cushion, whatever you find. Just make yourself comfortable. You need to find comfort in your practice, right? We're not here to be in pain. So from here, we're going to just tilt the pelvis in that neutral position. We're going to engage the abs, backs the shoulders. And then we're going to bring the sternum forward as we lean forward completely. And then we let the hips kind of sink forward. And you should feel this in your hip flexors. And it should feel like a really nice stretch. Now go easy here. This is excellent when you've been sitting 8 hours in front of your computer and then you switch from medium screen to your large screen and continue your evening with some Netflix. And then you back up. And then what I want you to do is just move that left foot towards the center. So you're kind of changing the angle of the stretch. And now your hips are opening a bit. So I'm showing you the back view. I think it might be clearer. And then we're just going to go again, where you're taking that knee over that pinky toe. We're just going to lean, keeping the abs engaged. And you'll notice it's a much different stretch now. Now you're stretching the inner thigh, inner right thigh. Good. You're going to come back. We'll just switch sides nice and gracefully. We'll take the left foot planted down, ankle below the knee. We're just like if you were zipping up your pants, you just kind of zip this part in, tilt the pelvis forward, coccyx back, tailbone down, and then you start to lean forward, relax the shoulders. And if you feel like this is quite intense, make it even more advanced and smile. Those are the most advanced yoga poses. Keep breathing. Great. And then we'll back up and we'll just change the angle. The shin is now perpendicular to the mat. Zip it up, tailbone down, relax the shoulders, deep breath, and exhale. We're going towards the knee, or the knee's going towards the toes, more like it. And maybe you want to play with a little bit of bouncing here, not huge bouncing, not like Jane Fonda time, but just a little bit of easing into it and playing with, hey, where's my boundary? Where does it feel good? Where's my edge? Good. Excellent. Now we'll ease back up. We'll come back down. And we will lay down on our backs. And what we'll do is separate our feet mat width apart, so much wider than your hips. And we'll do what we call windshield wipers. So we lean both our knees over to the right, let them fall as close to the ground as they'll go, and then over to the left. We'll just do that at our own rhythm. And maybe you want to cactus the arms while you're here. So you get a nice opening in the chest area. And then you'll bring your legs back to the center, separate them hip width apart. and cross your legs. So you'll take the left leg over and you'll scoot your hips a little bit over to the left and let the knees fall over to the right side. Keep that left shoulder plugged into the earth, and maybe look over to the left side. You might feel some cracking here, some release, and that's okay. And then slowly come back. And we'll switch sides. So we'll cross our legs, right leg over, scooch the hips over to the right, and then let knees fall over towards the left side. Keep that right shoulder plugged into the earth and look over to the right. And while you're in this posture, see if you have any tension in your face. A lot of the times we kind of scrunch up the eyebrows or tighten the jaw. If that's the case, let that go. It's not going to help you advance in this pose at all. It's completely unnecessary to hold that tension. Give yourself permission to release. And if you can't, go ahead and tap that space in between your eyebrows or maybe massage your jaw. And just give your body or your brain a signal like, hey, you can let go. It's okay. Come back to center. And then straighten out the hips, bring the knees towards you, give yourself a nice hug, and rock from side to side. Give yourself a nice back massage. And bring the forehead as close as you can to the knees. Close your eyes and whisper something nice to yourself. Like, thank you for being here today and taking time for yourself. Talk to yourself as you would a friend. Say these nice things to yourself. It's okay to be kind. And then when you're finished with your kind thought, go ahead and release the knees. Bring the feet down. And just lay down with your left hand on your chest, right hand on your belly. And relax. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. Keep your eyes closed. And we'll take a nice deep inhale for 5 whenever you're ready. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And keep breathing. Keep scanning your body for any unnecessary tension. And give yourself permission to let go and to be here. Keep your breath at the center of your attention if your mind keeps straying. Follow its path with your hands as you inhale and exhale. And then slowly bring your knees to your chest. One more time, rock from side to side. And let the knees fall over to the right side. Keeping your eyes closed. You'll go ahead and bring yourself all the way up to sit. Sitting comfortably, cross-legged, or however else you find your comfort. And then we'll bring the hands together in heart's prayer. We'll bring them in front of the forehead to have peaceful thoughts. In front of our lips to always speak and find our truth. And in front of our hearts to walk our path with love. Thank you so much for your time. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for participating. I hope that this was a relaxing session and that you found a little bit of peace and a little bit of joy while practicing.
That was so wonderful. I definitely enjoyed it. Just had to get reset up over here. Thank you so much for such a wonderful yoga session. We really appreciate you just taking the time to join us and lead us through this. I know for me, it was, from both of you, it's so wonderful to hear from Anne and then to practice yoga, a nice way for myself anyways to get ready for bed. But it definitely gave me a moment to myself and helped me release some stress that was much needed. Anne or Priscilla, do either of you have anything to say or any last thoughts before we close here?
I actually wanted to say, I forgot to say in the beginning that there's many different kinds of yoga. So what we just practiced right now was a very kind of slow and low kind of yoga. If that is where your happiness lies, awesome. A lot of people call that more hatha yoga. Normally I teach vinyasa style, so it's a little bit more of a dynamic flow where every pose or asana is linked through movement. So everything is through breath and movement. So it's a lot more dynamic, and it's really great for people who have a lot of chatter in their minds and find it really challenging to sit still and breathe. So it's another way of connecting to yourself through just constant moving or movement, and that's more power. So there's plenty of other types within that range. So if this was not quite to your liking, this style, I encourage you to go on YouTube and find the kind of style that you prefer, just to be able to get some grounding, some connection, and some release that we all need.
Anne, did you have anything else?
No, just wanted to say thank you. It was a nice time for me as well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you both again for being here with us. Thank you for joining the Global Youth Caucus this evening. Obviously, these times are difficult, so we want to remind everyone how important it is to focus on your mental health when you need to. There is no shame in that.
We thank you both again for offering your time and expertise on this day. And we thank you for creating a moment of unity and self-reflection for all of us in these difficult times. And to everyone else who's joined us, we hope you've enjoyed our mental health and yoga workshop. Again, a very big thank you to Anne and Priscilla for making it happen. And with that, I think we're going to be ending our session. So thank you again to everyone for joining us today.